Gavin Anderson from TechPB. Today I'm going to be taking apart an Angel A1 Fly. It's a joy division. I'm going to show you guys how to do marker maintenance on it, a complete teardown and rebuild. Let's not waste any more time and let's get started. Alright guys, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the grip frame off and the board. First thing I do when I'm disassembling markers is take the barrel off. The less stuff you have around, the easier it is for you to actually to concentrate on what you're doing. I also have a little dish here that I put all the screws and stuff in. So I've got all my Allen wrenches and all my tools laid out. So we'll just get started. You're first going to take the Allen wrench and you're going to actually take the screws out of the grip frame. While doing this, remember that the Angel is actually a metric gun, so you're actually going to need to be using metric Allen wrenches. It comes with its own set of Allen wrenches, but I like the ones that are a little bit longer than the ones that they came with. It just seems like you can get a little bit more leverage on it and just a little bit better. So I'm going to take the grip frame off on both sides. Very important to actually make sure you keep all the screws in one place so that you don't lose anything. The worst thing you can do to one of these guns, especially an Angel with all the little bitty parts in it, is actually lose something. Alright, now I've got the grip frames off, grip frame screws off. I'm actually going to be using a Phillips head screwdriver and I'm going to remove, there's 3 screws for the board. First going to take the battery out. It's also nice when you're using when you're taking the screws out to actually use a magnetic head screwdriver so you actually can pull these screws out. The next thing I'm going to be doing is taking the 2 eye wires out and the plug for the solenoid into the board. You need to be very, very gentle with this. These are very fragile parts that if you actually pull them a little bit wrong or a little bit hard, you actually can break them. So get a good grip on it, get low on the wires. And be very gentle when you pull the wires out. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the macro line off and I'm going to take the grip frame off, and that way I can get the board out. Okay, once I have the 2 grip frame screws out, you're going to pull the grip frame away, making sure that none of the wires are actually still connected. I'm going to set the main body to the side. The board actually has protective coverings on both sides, so if you take a round in the grip, it kind of helps protect it. And basically when the screws are out, you actually can just lift the board out if you need to change it. Remember though that it's got the plate where the LCD is, and then you've also got this protective covering on the back side. There are 2 little like screws there that hold some of the stuff on the outside of the grip on. You need to, when you're putting this back in, you're going to need to actually pop the plastic cover on the pop this plastic cover underneath of those 2 screws. So I'm going to put this back in. The other thing is I have found it's easier to take the grip frame off to take the board off because of the way the trigger is. Taking the grip frame off of the main body, you're actually allowed to move the trigger in a motion like this so the board comes free. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put it back in, and you're going to push this into place, making sure that you line everything up. You're going to, you don't want to be real tough with this, but you got to kind of use just a tiny bit of force. And you're going to put it in like so, and then just make sure that the two screws that are holding on the back plate actually are underneath, that the plastic is actually underneath of it. Next, I'm going to get my screws back out, and I'm going to put them back in. Guys, the only thing else you need to do is really take your time when you're doing this. Do not rush while you're doing this. Angels are great guns, but they are very, very complicated. There's lots of little parts in them and stuff, and you do not want to make a mistake. Okay, I've got the screws back in, I've got the board, everything all locked together. We should be good. We are going to now take apart the inline regulator. There's a few things you need to do to it. The first thing is to take one of your Allen wrenches, and you actually are going to unscrew, putting the Allen wrench inside of the macro fitting. You're going to unscrew this to take this off. The next thing you're going to do is, this is the velocity adjust. You're actually going to, you need to take this out too. Alright, Angel's got some special tools. Inside of here is the regulator guts. They've got it looks like an Allen wrench, but actually it's just threaded. This actually goes inside the center. There's 6 of these holes. It goes into the center of the holes, and you're actually going to screw this in there, and you're just going to pull the stack out. Okay, what you're going to be looking for is looking for damage on the O-rings. You need to, when you are taking this apart to service it, you're going to wipe everything down and put a light coating of grease back on it, and then put it back in there. There is another part in here which is actually, it's got all the bell springs in it and a ball bearing and like the mini, like it's a little cup seal thing in there. A lot of times this will never go bad. A lot of times it starts leaking from around these 4 O-rings here. So really, I'm not going to go into that because that's really not something that needs to be done all the time. But basically what you're going to do is just take a little bit of lube, put it on your fingers, and you're going to actually smear it around all 4 of these O-rings.